I'm just curious, did Samsung prove that if you want the biggest and most feature-packed Android tablet available today, that the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra is still the one to beat? This is Samsung's latest flagship tablet, and in a lot of ways, it feels like they're doubling down on what made the Ultra series so successful in the first place. We still have the massive display, they included an updated S Pen, DeX, expandable storage, and one of the best Android tablet experiences you can buy. But Samsung didn't just recycle last year's tablet. We have a newer processor, upgraded Galaxy AI features, refinement to the battery life, improvements to multitasking, and some ecosystem upgrades that make this feel even more like a laptop replacement than before. So after months of use, let's talk about whether the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra is worth buying, and more importantly, whether it's worth upgrading from an older Tab Ultra. Now, looking at size, Samsung clearly understands that people buying an Ultra tablet actually want a giant display. So the Tab S11 Ultra continues to offer that huge 14.6-inch form factor that separates it from almost every other mainstream tablet on the market. And at the same time, it's also thinner and lighter than the previous model. Now, personally, I love having this much screen real estate. Watching movies on a display this big feels more like using a portable OLED television than a traditional tablet. It's also fantastic for multitasking because you have enough room for multiple apps without feeling cramped. Now, whether I'm running Chrome next to Samsung Notes, editing photos while referencing documents, or responding to emails while watching a video, the extra screen space makes a real difference. The tablet still maintains its premium aluminum construction, and Samsung continues to offer IP68 water and dust resistance for both the tablet and the included S Pen. If you're like me and you travel a lot with your tablet and you use it around the house, you have a dog maybe, or you work in different environments throughout the day, having that extra protection is really nice. Now, the downside of a tablet this size is exactly what you'd expect. A 14.6-inch tablet is still a very large device. Now, I carry mine in a backpack, so it doesn't really bother me, but if you're looking for something that you can easily hold in your hand for long periods of time, this is probably not the tablet for you. Now, going back to the display, this remains one of the biggest reasons to buy the Tab S11 Ultra. We're still getting Samsung's gorgeous dynamic AMOLED 2X panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate, and the image quality is outstanding. We're also getting 1000 nits of typical brightness and 1600 nits peak brightness. Colors look vibrant without being overdone. Contrast is excellent. We have per pixel control, so blacks are perfectly black. HDR content looks spectacular, and there's a much smaller and less noticeable notch. Samsung continues to refine the anti-reflective technology that first impressed me on previous Galaxy devices. Reflections are noticeably reduced, and that makes a huge difference when you're using this tablet near windows, outdoors, or under bright office lighting. For media consumption, I think this is one of the best displays available on any tablet today. So ultimately, whether you're watching Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus, or the World Cup, and even if you're working or gaming, the experience is fantastic. And speaking of work, I run this channel full time, and I spend a lot of time making videos and replying to your comments. So what I don't have time for is cleaning my house. But this cutie right here drags mud all over the place and sheds so much, and white hair on dark floor, gross. So what I need is something that will vacuum up all the hair, mop the entire house without smearing stains or mud all over the place, and still protect my carpets from getting damaged, and I decided to check out two options from Roborock. The QR598 is a budget-friendly option with a multifunctional dock that automatically empties the dust, refills the robot with clean water, and cleans and dries the mops. It has 8,000 pascals of suction power, reactive tech obstacle avoidance, and the mops will lift to protect carpets. If you want to step things up, the Qrevo Curv 2 Flow is more advanced. The spiral flow real-time self-cleaning mop means that it's actually cleaning itself as it's spinning, and the edge adaptive feature lets it reach all the way to the wall. 20,000 pascals hyperforce suction power gets all those pesky hairs. The cover shield covers the wet mop brush to protect my carpets, and the dual anti-tangle system prevents long hairs and carpet fibers from clogging things up. I've had both running twice a week at night. My house looks great, and the best part is that maintenance is super easy. So if you're busy like me, but you want a clean house, click the link in the description to learn more about the QR598 and the Qrevo Curv 2 Flow at Target. And thank you to Roborock for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now, one thing that Samsung continues to do really well is accessories. The book cover keyboard Slim remains a good option and works beautifully with DeX, and if you want more, there is the Pro keyboard. The dedicated AI key makes it easier to launch Galaxy AI features, and Samsung continues to blur the line between tablet and laptop. Just like with the previous models, the S Pen is included in the box, which is something that I always appreciate because a lot of competing tablets charge extra for a stylus. We're getting a new hexagonal body, which is modeled after a classic pencil. Latency is extremely low, handwriting feels natural, and Samsung Notes continues to be one of my favorite note-taking apps, so it's great that it's also included for free. Now let's talk about AI, because Samsung made Galaxy AI a huge part of the Tab S11 Ultra experience. We still have Circle to Search, Live Translate, Note Assist, Transcript Assist, and all the productivity tools that we've seen expand across the Galaxy ecosystem. What I really like is how much more useful some of those features are on a large display. For example, having AI summarize documents, generate meeting notes, translate content, organize handwritten notes, or help create presentation actually feels more practical on a tablet than on a smartphone. Samsung also improved the multimodal AI interaction, and that means that you can work with text, images, and documents more naturally across apps, and Gemini is tightly integrated with One UI 8.5. It's great to see that Galaxy AI continues to evolve, and the Tab S11 Ultra is arguably one of the best devices to experience those features on, again, because of the large screen and the productivity-focused design. In terms of connectivity, Samsung continues to offer a USB-C 3.2 port with fast data transfer speeds and support for external displays. The battery size increased to 11,600 mAh. It's rated for 23 hours of video playback, and the combination of the large battery and a newer processor gives very good battery life whether you're streaming content, browsing, editing photos, or taking notes throughout the day. Now, even during heavier workloads, I've been consistently impressed with how long this tablet lasts, and with 45-watt fast charging, topping off the battery is relatively quick. And let me know if you want to see battery life comparisons with any other tablets. Now, one area where Samsung continues to improve every year is ecosystem integration. If you own a Galaxy smartphone, Galaxy Watch, Galaxy Buds, or a Samsung laptop, everything works together incredibly well. QuickShare makes file transfers effortless. Multi-control lets you use a single keyboard and mouse across devices. Second screen allows the tablet to function as an additional display for your Windows PC or laptop, and features like copy and paste continuity, synced Samsung Notes, and Galaxy AI integrations make the entire ecosystem feel connected. So actually, the more Samsung products you own, the more valuable the Tab S11 Ultra becomes. And speaking of productivity, DeX remains one of the most underrated features in tech. If you've never used it, DeX transforms the tablet into a desktop-style operating system, complete with overlapping windows, a taskbar, desktop shortcuts, and enhanced multitasking. DeX works great with a keyboard case, or you can connect your tablet to an external display and get a dual display setup with a mouse and an external keyboard. Now, is it a full replacement for a high-end Windows laptop or a MacBook? For some people, no, but if you're mostly doing things like sending emails, browsing the web, editing documents, and consuming content, DeX can absolutely get the job done. Now, when we look at performance, Samsung elected to go with the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 Plus, and they're saying that we should expect up to a 24% improvement in CPU performance, 27% in GPU, and 33% in NPU when compared with the Tab S10 Ultra. So here are some quick single and multi-core benchmarks comparing the current MediaTek chip to the 9300 Plus. And we can also see how it stacks up as far as GPU performance. Now, the reality is that even the previous generation was already extremely fast, but what I appreciate is having the additional performance headroom for future software updates and and for more demanding games and apps. Samsung also continues to offer up to 7 years of OS and security updates, which significantly improves the long-term value of the device. Now, the cameras aren't a primary reason to buy this tablet, but they're more than enough for what I need. We're getting a 13 megapixel wide and an 8 megapixel ultra wide on the back. On the front, we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and here's a quick sample. Here's a camera and microphone test of the Tab S11 Ultra. This should give you a pretty good idea of the type of image quality that you're going to get and the type of audio quality that you should expect. Now, audio quality is also outstanding. I'm pretty much always using headphones, but the quad speaker setup delivers excellent volume, impressive clarity, and surprisingly strong bass for a tablet. Now, whether you're watching movies, gaming, or listening to music, the speakers are some of the best that you'll find on any tablet. And speaking of gaming, the Tab S11 Ultra is an absolute monster. Games like PUBG, COD Mobile, Genshin Impact, and Real Racing run beautifully. The combination of flagship performance, a massive OLED display, and 120 Hz refresh rate creates a fantastic gaming experience. I still think it's a little too big to comfortably hold for extended gaming sessions, but if you're playing with the tablet on a desk or using a controller, it's incredible. I've also spent a lot of time using cloud gaming services, and the large display makes the game feel way more immersive than a phone. Now let's talk about pricing. If you use the links in the description, the Tab S11 Ultra starts at $1,049 for 256 gigabytes and $1,249 for 512 gigs. Now, both of those come with 12 gigs of RAM. We also have a 1 terabyte model that comes with 16 gigs of RAM and sells for $1,649. We still get the S Pen in the box. We get a micro SD card slot, which remains one of my favorite features because it gives you a very affordable way to add massive amounts of storage later on. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars upfront for additional storage. You can simply add a micro SD card whenever you need more space for videos, photos, downloads, or games. Samsung also continues to offer 5G versions in some markets, but not in the US. At the end of the day, the Tab S11 Ultra remains one of the most impressive tablets that you can buy. Has one of the best displays on the market, excellent battery life, fantastic speakers, powerful performance, excellent multitasking, and a growing ecosystem. If you're coming from a Tab S8 Ultra or something older, this is an easy upgrade to recommend. If you're coming from a Tab S9 or Tab S10 Ultra, then the decision depends on how much you value the new improvement and the trade-in value for your current device. But regardless, did Samsung prove that if you want the biggest and most feature-packed Android tablet available today, the Tab S11 Ultra is still the one to beat? Let me know what you think. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.